in a single night. You amaze me.
I think it's absolutely amazing. I mean, to think that he can fly around to 1 million houses in one night, breaking and entering, steal all the food, eat the little kids' cookies and stuff like that. I get jacked just talking about it. Don't you guys feel it?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2007 festive comedy Fred Claus. The film is directed by David Dobkin and it stars Vince Vaughn, Paul Giamatti, Elizabeth Banks, John Michael Higgins, Miranda Richardson, Rachel Weisz, Kathy Bates, Trevor Peacock, Ludacris, Jeremy Swift and Kevin Spacey. What a cast! The film focuses on Vince Vaughn's character, Fred Claus. He is the older brother of Nick Claus, otherwise known as Santa Claus. We get the backstory initially from when they were young children. Fred was born, normal child, no issues. Then when his younger brother Nick was born, Nick essentially became a saint. Because he was just so generous, wanted to give everything away. As soon as he became a saint, the whole family basically became immortal then. And then he went on to become the Santa Claus that we all know and love today. But Fred Claus, Vince Vaughn's character, has remained bitter towards him and Christmas ever since. He's living a normal life in a big city, I think it's New York. He's trying to hold down a relationship. He's not a very nice person. But he ends up in jail and asks his brother for some help. His brother agrees to help. Santa Claus agrees to help as long as he comes to the North Pole and helps him this Christmas. He agrees for selfish reasons, gets there, causes absolute chaos, and ends up putting the whole of the North Pole and the whole of the Christmas holidays in grave danger as it is threatened to be shut down. Right, what are my thoughts on Fred Claus? Well, I've never seen this film before. I thought I would pick like a nice festive film to review for you guys this Christmas, and this is the one that I've chosen. Big fan of Vince Vaughn, always been a big fan of Vince Vaughn. I think he's got great comedy timing. The majority of the comedies that he does, he's usually the best thing in them. And I thought, well, it's worth giving it a go. I mean, just the cast alone makes this one a winner, really, you would think. And while I'm not going to sit here and say that I think this is some kind of holiday classic, it is suitably entertaining. It's suitably watchable. There are moments in the film that will raise a smile. It does exactly what you expect a festive film to do, and a comedy film at that. You know, you get the stakes raised, you know, things start going terribly wrong, and then, you know, that everyone has to pull together to make it all work out. I mean, it's a tried and tested formula, especially on Christmas films, and it's no different here. You know what I mean? I think the performances are all fine here. I think the biggest problem with this film, it's just a little bit too tame. Which might sound odd, me saying that for like a Christmas film. But it always feels like Vince Vaughn is he's got the collar on, you know, he's got the muzzle on. They've had to massively tone him down. And that's okay, because he can still be entertaining in those moments. But a Vince Vaughn without the collar on, you know, without the lead on sort of thing, he can make magic sort of thing. I mean, apparently a lot of his lines in this film were improvised anyway. It shows you the talent of the guy. I think Paul Giamatti makes a really cool Santa, actually. He does really well in that role. You could argue he's not given a huge amount to do with it. But I think the biggest crime here is you've got all these actors in this film. And I'll start listing some. Miranda Richardson, Rachel Weisz, Kathy Bates, criminally underused in this film. Kathy Bates basically plays the mother of Santa Claus and Fred Claus, the Vince Vaughn character. And they're just so poorly utilised. Rachel Weisz has got nothing to do other than play the girlfriend of Vince Vaughn, who is constantly, debating whether she should or she shouldn't go out with him because he's just not a very good boyfriend. Miranda Richardson plays Santa Claus's wife. Again, massively underused. Nothing for her to do that's interesting. And then you've got Kevin Spacey, who plays the villain of the piece. He is some kind of organizer, if you like. He's been sent to the North Pole to make sure that they are efficient. Because if it seems that they're not, because there are concerns apparently, then the North Pole and Christmas is going to be shut down. And it's his job to kind of basically shut them down. He wants to shut them down because he's a bit of an arse. So he gives them 3 strikes, basically. 3 strikes and you're out. But he's got an ulterior motive. He wants to shut them down. So you've got Kevin Spacey playing the villain here, a role that he's used to playing. But again, it's a villain with the muzzle on. It's a very one-dimensional character, very one-dimensional role. And he's not given enough to do, to steal the scenery sort of thing, which is what he should be doing, like he did when you've seen him in other comedies with, a bit of a rawer edge. He can really steal most scenes that he's in. I did find it quite amusing that it turns out that, the reason he's so bitter towards Christmas and Father Christmas is he didn't get his Superman cape when he was a child. Which I found quite amusing because just the year before, or 18 months before, he'd played Lex Luthor in the Brandon Routh Superman Returns film. So I thought that was quite cool. And, the film definitely has its moments, It is suitably predictable, all that kind of stuff. There's a scene in the film where they have like a group therapy for people that feel overshadowed by their brothers that Fred Claus joins. At that point, she's fallen out with his brother near the end of the film. But it's funny because in that group session, you've got Frank Stallone, the brother of Sylvester Stallone, and Stephen Baldwin, the brother of Alec Baldwin, in this group as well. So I thought that was quite fun and creative, the fact that, they're in this therapy session because they're sick of being overshadowed by their brothers as well. It has its moments, this, for sure. It's definitely an easy watch. It's not what I would describe as a bad film at all. It certainly has its nice festive moments. I'm just more used to seeing Vince Vaughn kind of being allowed to be, a little bit more raw, I suppose, and it feels like a massively toned down version of him, which obviously makes sense for it being a Christmas film. So yeah, Fred Claus, good fun. If you get a chance to watch it this Christmas, I'm sure it will be on many a streaming service. Give it a go, and I'll see you back here on the channel with plenty more content after Christmas. So have a brilliant time. Don't drink too much.